welcome to our studio here at Patina Farm. We shared with you the whole process of building our new studio, and now it's time to see it complete.
Yeah, so we wanted to show you a couple of the little moments that we created outside. There's a cool little fountain that we made out of these solid pieces of stone. We've turned it off for a second, but we'll show you how it looks like when it's running. We used the big spout that we found. We've got the tower with the weather vane up on top of it. We've got a rain chain for the drainage that comes down into this. We've started to grow Boston ivy on the building, and then created these cool little pockets on
our little planting pockets.
Little planting pockets with some cypress and white roses and one of the stones.
Yes. And a couple of the pittosporum and a little bit of the ollie, just kind of our same limited palette of plants to provide some structure. And also eventually all the roses, they're white Eden roses. They will start growing up and over the front door. We also have an old lantern that we put on the wall to provide a little bit of lighting. And then we have all the no-mow fescue grass that kind of is planted in front and creates like this little flowy grass courtyard in front.
And then there's a little seating area and a cool little place to do flowers.
Yes, a little potting sink.
A little potting sink and little valve of a bird.
Yes.
Valve
It's
of
a
a
snail.
bird on it.
Yes.
It's a snail.
It's a snail.
A snail.
Oh, it's a snail.
It's a cute little valve of a snail on it.
Yes, I think we put the bird one somewhere else. Oh, come on in. And here we are in the inside of our new studio. It's kind of become a multi-use studio right now.
Yes, more like a store right now.
More like a store right now. So as many of you know, we used to have a store up in Santa Barbara. We closed our store and studio up there, and everything moved here for now. And so we brought in a lot of our antiques, a lot of the furniture we make, and lots of dogs, lots of clothing, and of course Carrie, who helps us here at Patina Farm, wears many hats here at Patina Farm. I love the studio. It's got wonderful light, and it's just a really pretty simple space. It's all wide open.
It's about 20 by 30. We've got antique beams on the ceiling at about 4 feet on center. We have these two large skylights that face north and light on both sides, both the kind of east and west side. So you get a lot of really nice even light throughout the whole space. We also created kind of a cool detail on the floor. We did cement and we did these large saw cuts and grouted them so it feels a little like an old stone floor. And it's getting kind of beat up and looking a little bit rough, and it's actually quite
patina.
It's getting some patina on it. So ended up being a really cool space, and I think it'll be a multi-use space and able to change over the years as we need it for different kinds of things. Right now it's a home to multiple puppies and all sorts of things like that, and all these cool antiques, and we'll show you a couple of neat little spots here and there, little special things that we did.
And I like even like this little seating area that we have at the front. It's really pretty, and this old table that's just some great old pieces of wood and some Swedish pieces. And
we've also created a few little vignettes with the animals' portraits in the background. So there's a little seating area with a clementine above it, and then a little area with that little cabinet with Daisy and Hank
yes.
over the top.
Yes.
So we've created these little vignettes in places which are kind of fun. And then we also have something kind of cool, these little spotlights that we use. We're not a big fan of downlights with the holes cut in the ceiling, but these we found and were a nice way to light up the wall without having a lot of downlights in the space.
Yes, and I think they'll be great because at some point you'll be painting more, and hopefully we'll be able to put a lot of your paintings on the wall, and these downlights are really great because we can move them, for wherever you decide to put your paintings on the wall.
Sounds good.
Illuminate them.
Yes, and there'll be a good spot for your pottery as well.
For my pottery, yes.
Let's take a look at the bathroom area.
Yes, the kitchen.
The kitchen area, yes.
So down this little hallway is the little kitchenette. It's really a very simple space. Steve designed a really pretty stone sink, that Higgins stone out of Kansas. Out of Kansas, manufactured for us. So it's just one big piece of limestone. And then we have the atmosphere faucets that are really, they do a beautiful job on their finishes. And then some really pretty natural white oak shelves above that we have some of Steve's family's plaster on the shelves. And what else, Steve? What am I missing?
We just vaulted the ceiling in here, and then I put a window that's way too big for the hallway, which makes it look cooler. So that is something we can open up and get ventilation if we need to. And then we just put a little skirt at the bottom of this.
Yes,
but
just a
this
little
is
linen.
pretty cool. We'll show you a close-up of this with a solid stone carved sink. We've started to do this in a couple of jobs, and it's really a neat look. Makes a utilitarian space and makes it kind of nice.
And then we just did a vintage light from Factory 20 to light up the space. And then one of our favorite little circa lights, think of the things, little tiny terries.
Tiny terries.
Tiny terries. We like using those little tiny terries on little bookshelves and stuff. So that's it for that little space. We'll show you around some other little details as well.
So a lot of people ask us about our doors. These are actually custom doors that you designed out of white oak, correct? And, and they have these very cool pocketing screens. And close off so you can actually open the doors. No puppies leaving. And have the breeze coming in.
Yeah, so it's set up so I can get cross ventilation with the front doors are just like these doors, just two of them. Or I can open front and back, or I can also open the skylights up. Buddy, where are you going? Come here, stay with us. They're cool little doors. We made the stiles really, really skinny and used the same kind of crazy screen door hardware that we used on the house. But I like the idea of the thin mullions and the thin stiles. So those came out quite nice. Yes. And then here in this area, you can see the little antique dust that we were talking about and how we create these little compositions within the room.
Yes.
These are pretty cool. Where were these from?
Those are from France via England.
Nice.
Yes.
I love those things.
They're just like remnants that
were
turned into sconces.
Yeah, very neat.
Yes, I like finding kind of unique things to kind of put in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this is the studio looking the other way. You've got the double doors in the front. You can sort of get the sense a little bit as you see it from multiple angles what the light's like. And then there's a little secret door back here that goes up towards the house, to that door that you saw in the closet shots from the other day.
Yes.
But we're trying to kind of make it feel like its own space, but tie it into the house in a cool way. And we've got some neat little vignettes of antique stuff over on this side as well, which might be kind of fun to take a peek at.
And we should also mention that, like the rest of the house, there is no paint on the walls. We use the Diamond Kote over the drywall in this space as well. So it just kind of has a little bit of a modeling effect. It kind of shimmers a little bit, and we really like it. It has more of a life than just paint.
Yeah, and you don't have to do baseboards, and it goes in pretty easy, and it just always looks good. And if you put a nail in it, you just patch it over with a little, kind of like a spackle knife. Yeah. It just kind of cleans it up easy.
So why don't we walk out the other doors and you can see the other side of the outside.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't know if to call this the back or the front of the studio. I guess they're both kind of the back and the front.
Yeah, exactly.
But this side faces the pond. And we again have some beautiful roses that are starting to grow over the trellis above us.
It has the willow on it. So these are just rebars sticking out of the building about 3 feet, and the trellis that's just wired to it. What'll happen is these roses will grow over top. You can see they've already started. And by the time a couple of years are gone, it'll be all roses. And by that time, the willow will probably disintegrate. So it'll just be all roses. But it's nice because it shades the back of the house from the harsh west sun and makes it kind of a cool patterns of light on the building, which we really like a lot.
Yes, and the sycamore kind of adds a little shade as well. And then next to this area, we have the entrance to our little secret garden, and then a little citrus grove in front of that as well.
And then it's all connected with lavender and little olives.
Yeah.
So we've got limes and lemons in the citrus grove.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
And then we have a little patio we built out of solid stones just set on the dirt.
Right.
With these little growies in between.
Yeah, so it's the same Higgins stone, and just some ground cover, Campanula. This is all Campanula around here. And yeah, the same Higginstone that we got for the inside.
Yeah, it's a very simple palette.
Yeah.
And here you can see the oak doors from the outside. We just put dead flat on them, and we'll probably have to put it on every year or so just to keep it nice, but I like the way it keeps it from getting too shiny.
Yes, and Steve likes to keep the oak in its natural condition as much as possible.
Yeah, so it's sort of a new feature of the palette here, but I like the idea of keeping it this way as long as we can. Eventually we'll probably have to paint it, but that's okay. We'll keep it looking like oak for as long as we can.
So I think that's it. I think we've described pretty much everything we can out of this little studio. If you have questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section of this video. And until next time, goodbye from Patina Farm.
Bye.